Hey guys, I'm Dave, back with another episode of Debt Free Differently, where I help you pay off your debt, manage your money, and even build wealth a little bit differently. Today, we're talking about saving for college. Not for you, but for your son or daughter, and how you can help them graduate debt free from a 4-year public college in just 5 hours or less per week. Let's just jump right into it. If you have or had student loan debt, you've probably thought about how far ahead you would have been if you left college with no debt at all. And the good part is, with a little bit of planning, you can do that for your son or daughter. Whether you have a baby on the way, recently had one, or you're just planning ahead for what might be to come, I hope that this video helps you think about ways that you can help your kid be debt-free. First, how much is college going to cost in 18 years? I'll link to it in the description, but if we use the Saving for College calculator, taking inflation into account, the cost of a 4-year public college in 18 years will be about $170,000. That includes tuition, room and board, books, and fees. For some of us, I know hearing that number makes you want to throw up a little bit in your mouth. But remember, you have 18 years of compound interest to help you get there and help your kid graduate from college without taking out a single student loan. And with compound interest, the earlier you start, the more attainable the number becomes. Even if you've never saved 6 figures in your life, let me show you how we can make this possible in just 5 hours per week. One of the best parts with this calculator is that it also estimates the average amounts of scholarships and grants that your kid will receive at different income levels. For example, let's say that your household income is $50,000. The calculator shows you that on average, your kid will probably receive about $60,000 in scholarships and grants. If your household income is $100,000, they'll probably receive an average of about $40,000 in scholarships and grants. That makes the total amount a little less daunting, but it's still a lot. Now, how do you start saving for this? If you break this down, it's about $300 a month invested for 18 years, assuming an average return of around 7%. We do this in a 529 account and we get some tax benefits from it as well. In fact, at $300 per month, if your household income is $50,000, you'd actually end up with a surplus of about $20,000 by the time your kid goes to school. If you have a household income of $100,000, you'd pretty much be perfectly on track with their scholarships and grants. $300 is not a small amount of money, but these days you can probably average about $15 per hour with most ride sharing or food delivery services. And while DoorDash and Uber and Lyft might not be around forever, there will probably always be something new. And if it's not already where you live, $15 per hour is very likely to be minimum wage where you live sometime in our lifetime. $300 is $75 per week, or 5 hours of near minimum wage work that you can do every week to help your kid graduate from school without taking out a single student loan. That could be 1 hour of rides or deliveries on your way home from work on the weekdays, maybe an extended shift before your kids' games or activities on the weekends, or maybe you can find a part-time gig, something that's a nice break from what you normally do for work. Maybe you can scan badges at the rec center, work at a store, do something that you actually enjoy and can do just for a few hours per week. Depending on what you do for work, there might be a more efficient way for you to save and invest this money. If you work in sales or a place where you get bonuses, is there a way that you could set aside that money every year or every quarter depending on when you get paid? If you've already paid off all of your debt, if sending your kid to school debt-free is a priority for you, that's just $75 per week for you to work into your budget. I know our time is limited, but if you've been in debt before, you know that you could be giving your kids a pretty much priceless gift by putting in work on their behalf early on in their lives. The good news is this doesn't all have to be on you. If you have a spouse or a partner who also works, that's only $37.50 per week that you guys are saving. It's not a huge amount. You might actually be able to do that by just tightening your budget here and there. For us, we started early with our 4-month-old son. He rides in the car while we do DoorDash, and all of the deliveries that he sleeps through, that's his money for college. Eventually, your son or daughter is also going to be ready to start working. And if you've had conversations about money and college with them, they can start working and contributing to their future as well. In our town, mowing a lawn generally goes for about $25 to $35, and there are tons of high schoolers that are saving for college mowing people's lawns. Their parents are incredibly proud of them, and I would be too. At $75 per week, your son or daughter could take over their college savings in the spring and the summertime with just 3 lawns per week. Even if they start working at the local fast food place or caddying on a golf course or something like that, it could be $75 per week that will change the rest of their financial lives. A debt-free degree for your kid is fully possible, even if you're starting right from when they're born or you're starting a little bit later. If you want to crunch some numbers yourself, definitely check out that Saving for College calculator in the description, and I'll also include a link to a video I made on how we made $50,000 from side jobs in just 1 year. Some people think that student loan debt is just part of going to college, but it doesn't have to be. You can change your kids' financial future with just 5 hours per week. And hopefully they'll actually appreciate it one day. That's what I got for this week, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Debt Free Differently.